The Volkswagen Group, they've been quietly working on a strategy here, guys. It's one I've been talking about. No one seems to be recognizing that the Volkswagen Group are in a very powerful position now. They are essentially doing something that a lot of people think they shouldn't do. A lot of people think that it's going to hurt the Western world. It's going to hurt Europe. But Volkswagen, I believe that they have no choice. They have nearly $200 billion in debt. They are losing sales in China very quickly. In fact, this year was one of their worst sales years in the last 10 years. How can they reverse this? How can they solve the issue? They've said themselves that the roof is on fire at their company, that they have a crisis. They believe they have a solution. Their solution is, well, it could work, but is it ethical? Is it the right thing to do? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Volkswagen are doing a few things. 1. Structural battery packs. 2. Lithium iron phosphate batteries. But more importantly than just those technologies, Volkswagen are developing a low cost, as in ultra low cost, Chinese EV platform to fight its local rivals. Yeah, right. No, it's not really. It's to take on who? Toyota, Ford, basically everyone. Volkswagen Group has a plan. Their plan is that outside of North America, most of their cars will be manufactured in China. They're doing an Apple. We think of Apple as this American company, but the truth is, actually a Taiwanese and Chinese company. Even BYD makes iPads for Apple. So, Volkswagen plan to copy the Apple strategy. I mean, look at BlackBerry. What did they do? They didn't want to manufacture in China. And when they did do it, it failed terribly. However, if you do it right, it'll work. And Volkswagen believes that it just costs too much money to manufacture an electric car unless it's made in China. Volkswagen was actually the very first Western car maker to set up shop in China. That move worked for it really well for decades. In fact, it made billions of dollars and more money in China than anywhere else in the world, including all of Europe put together. But suddenly Volkswagen is on the back foot, having lost market share to massively competitive Chinese brands, to Tesla, to BYD, and it's desperate to lower its cost. It makes a loss on every electric car it sells. And if EVs are the future, well, they have no choice. They have to make EVs at a price that they can actually make a profit on them. Over the past 11 months, Volkswagen has made less profits on its cars than it has in at least 10 years. Its profit margins have shrunk to historical lows. One of the ways Volkswagen plan on reversing this is by developing a new EV architecture that will be built in China specifically to reduce price, to reduce costs, to make it a vehicle they can sell at a profit, and to make millions of them, to basically flood the world with Chinese cheap electric cars. Cheap, does that mean not good? No, it doesn't. It just means that, for example, Tesla, what do? They make EVs in China, and by all reports, they're actually very, very good. Called the A-Main platform, this is kind of a variation of the MEB platform that is used for the ID3, the ID4, the ID Buzz, the ID5, even the ID7 now. And it's even used in many other brands under the Volkswagen Group portfolio, but it will be optimized to suit Chinese buyers' preferences in terms of batteries and motor specs, and then it will actually have software from the Chinese software company that Volkswagen purchased to fix its own software problems in its EVs, which apparently worked. It worked so well that Volkswagen said, what are we doing here? Volkswagen goes to China and it bought a stake, essentially a stake in 3 different electric car companies. And now it's working with XPeng to make next generation EVs. In fact, XPeng's CEO, XPeng is one of the most innovative electric car companies in China, and their CEO said Volkswagen Group and XPeng are already far advanced into development on their new EV platforms and their new electric cars. The company's China boss Rolf Brandstatner, told Reuters the Volkswagen will develop 4 models priced between $19,000 US and $23,800 on the new platform. Production will be handled by the firm's joint ventures with SAIC and FAW, and of course XPeng and Leap Motor, and its own company as well. It has another joint venture, and its massive EV plant, where actually it has paused production because its EVs aren't really selling in China right now. Basically, Volkswagen is looking for a Hail Mary and hoping that this will pay off, hoping that it can come out with something really, really good, combining all the technology from all these different Chinese car companies and software companies and battery companies, put them all together into one thing, make it really affordable, and hopefully dominate the world by shipping all these EVs that they make in China elsewhere, to Europe, to Australia, to Southeast Asia. You see my point here. This is what they plan to do. It's possible this new architecture will have things like in-car karaoke that the Chinese love. For example, Tesla introduced in-car karaoke, and their karaoke microphones sold out within 6 minutes, and they had more than 100,000 of them. These are things that they haven't done before, and they're things that could help them massively increase their sales in China, where they have lost ground to almost everyone. Now, other problems they have, their software is considered rubbish in China. The Chinese think that Volkswagen Group software is below par, it's slow, the screens are small, but in China, Volkswagen Group has access to cheap, affordable software and cheap media screens. That's what it plans to use. However, just as important to Volkswagen as the software and the batteries are, the platform will use Chinese suppliers. Essentially, Volkswagen will leverage existing Chinese car companies to simply make more cars, meaning it will be developed in 2/3 of the time needed to ready previous platforms. That's one of the things the Chinese car companies do well. Many different CEOs around the world, not in China, have mentioned this. They say the Chinese move fast. So basically, Volkswagen is leveraging the speed of Chinese EV companies to help it grow and gain back market share. Ludger Lehmann, the CTO of Volkswagen Group China Technology Company, the China-based Volkswagen firm developing the platform, gave Reuters an example of how it was able to lower the price of its dashboard displays by 40% after switching to a Chinese supplier. Switching development to China also cuts out delays resulting from the time zone difference between Germany and Asia. But the other thing it does, it gives Volkswagen direct access to the best technology in the world. The truth is here, China has been developing EV technology, batteries, and everything around it, the skateboard itself, the systems. It's been doing it now for, well, decades. And the truth is, it's doing a very good job at it. Not only that, they do it at the lowest cost in the world. This is basically Volkswagen's Hail Mary. Do you think it'll work? Do you think it's ethical? Do you think they should do this? Let me know in the comments. Bye-bye.